What's up, guys? You are listening to the Touge Hour podcast. My name is Wade Best, owner of 129 Touge, and joining me are some of the area's most known individuals in the mountain pass scene. Here we discuss the presence of US 129's Touge Scene and the endless changing cycle of motorsport-related news. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Touge Hour. Today I'm joined with Douglas James Smith, the local alignment man, Eurospec LLC. What's going on, bud?
What's up, buddy? You doing all right?
Doing good.
Good.
I have Thomas Couch, or local Miata man over here.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Miata
local.
Man.
Oh, well, Miata is, we say local Miata man. The Miata's not here.
No,
we'll get back to that soon, though.
we will.
We have our Jzilla Track Days instructor, Austin Simons, over here to my left.
Hey.
He's here, and he's not going to say it. Dylan Shelburne, what are you doing? Welcome to the podcast.
What are you doing, big boy?
I'm excited to talk about the thing that happened last weekend.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Which,
excited about.
if no one's seen that video, can I point to where it should be?
Yeah, let's put a little box.
There it is. It's right here.
It's over there, actually.
It's over.
It's completely
See, what
yeah.
they don't
He's got a
know
drag
is it's
everywhere.
actually in Wade's ass.
So, before we start getting a little crazy, last podcast we talked about like the no-nos of the dragon, the squids of the dragon, the do not do this ever in your life on the dragon. This one's like the complete opposite. This is like what we like about the dragon, why we keep coming back to the dragon.
Yeah.
What makes it special? What's so cool about the Tail of the Dragon? It's like, oh, it's the most dangerous road, but we'll develop into that and we'll tell you why.
We had our rant episode.
We had a rant,
yeah,
so we've dug too deep. We gotta bring it back.
You dug too deep?
Nice. Get your alignment too. No. Anyways,
As
we
long as
have.
you don't mount my out-of-round Michelin's wrong, it'll be fine.
Oh, God.
Oh,
We're not
going there.
Speaking of last weekend.
What happened last week?
Starting with small
So
talk.
Dylan.
I drove a GR Corolla.
Box.
Oh, yeah.
It's over
it's
here.
Let's
I don't know, somewhere.
see if I can fit my hands. Yeah, I drove a GR Corolla.
How do you like it?
It was way better than I thought it would be. My biggest thing, and if you haven't seen the video, then this is kind of new, but
Go watch it.
it's so much like a Fiesta. That was the big thing. The steering felt incredible. It's hard to compete with the steering of the GR 8.6 in comparison, because I drive that all the time, and that thing's obviously, it's rear-wheel drive, it doesn't have power going to the front wheels, so the steering's a little bit lighter, but dude, the power is so linear. Everyone's like, oh, you really got to rev it out to get the power, but I was completely content at 4,000 RPM.
I was about to say in the video, it sounded like you were going through some gears, like second, third, fourth.
Yeah, I was second, third, fourth, fifth on local straight, but I wasn't redlining. I was just seeing if it could pull in fifth, and it didn't.
Not exactly your car.
Yeah, exactly. Especially thanks to Chris for letting me drive it. I'm not going to destroy someone else's car.
Yeah,
but,
this man isn't going to go out and rip somebody else's car or anything.
Yeah.
We're not actually driving my Miata,
Yeah, but since we posted that video and people have known that I've driven it, everyone is asking me about the power, and I would say it is extremely comparable to a V8 chassis STI, so 2015 and up STI. It's faster than a GR86, 0 to 60, whatever. And
Straight line, side by side.
Yeah, if you line them up, it will get it in a quarter mile.
I mean,
I'm assuming, but definitely 0 to 60.
So, I know you couldn't get a chance to launch it. I wonder how these cars launch. Other than blowing your clutch packs apart.
Yeah, like that one too.
Don't launch at 7,300 RPM. That might hurt the car.
Was it the clutch pack or was it the coil pack?
No, clutch pack. Because
Okay.
so the dude stood. It was first geared, and he stood on limiter for about 4 seconds.
Oh no!
And then you see his foot just go and just back off the clutch, and he clutch dumped it.
Yeah.
And it's first bang 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 first red limiter, slams it in the second, and then this big warning pops up on the screen, and it was clutch pack disabled, or all wheel drive disabled, front wheel drive mode engaged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also I keep learning about these. People are having to dyno them in front wheel drive mode, I guess, to get the most accurate reading, because everyone that's dynoing them in all wheel drive mode, the readings are everywhere.
So do they have a dyno mode like the Supra does?
No.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because that's one of the things everyone's complaining about.
Huh.
But Dylan down at Countersteer, when he dynoed his girlfriend's GR Corolla, it was the equivalent of 344 to the crank. and everyone else that's dynoing them is getting around the same number. So everyone is thinking that Toyota really lied about this.
Yeah,
They're like 300, and it makes like 300 to the wheels.
They call the old BMW special.
Yeah. Now
what they did was they went with like the '90s gentleman agreement. Special was what they did.
And as the car is out for longer, more people are going to dyno them. It's going to have SAE corrected numbers. Everyone's going to be able to figure it out. But I think that car for $45,000, if you're not somebody like Doug, I'm not trying to like shit talk you or anything, but
you should talk to FK the whole movie, bitch.
But no, like the FL5 is good because it's more luxurious compared to the GR Corolla.
FL5, sure. FK8, no.
No, even the FK8. It's more because at the end of the day, the GR Corolla is a Corolla. There's piano hard plastic everywhere, and the FK8, like I've driven both, and I can tell you from experience, it feels a little bit more pristine.
The Corolla have
than a Type R, huh?
Did it have sunroof?
No.
Okay. Did it have Apple
This
CarPlay?
one didn't, but they do come. The cores do.
Did it have Apple CarPlay?
I didn't test it.
It definitely had.
Yeah.
There's no way it did.
Oh yeah.
But I'm speaking on interior quality, and the biggest thing is the space. Like if someone doesn't have, even with me, I have a girlfriend and a stepdaughter, and it's like I would feel comfortable putting them in a GR Corolla. They would be more comfortable in a Type R.
Yeah, because it's just bigger.
Yeah, but I think that's where the split is, and like if you enjoy all-wheel drive or you need all-wheel drive a little bit more, then
I'm also curious on how on the MPGs by comparison.
Not great.
I'm sure.
GR Corolla gets about 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, on the Dragon, obviously.
No. Like instrumented testing, Motor Trend, car and driver road track. They're getting about 2021.
Are you serious?
It's a high-strung 3-cylinder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm buying an SRT4.
Dude, there was one on the Dragon on Saturday, and I saw it go by, and I was like, "There's weight." but yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things about. I mean, think about the amount of horsepower per cylinder.
Yeah,
I mean, it's getting close to the S2000. What is it?
And
F20.
even the DC2 Type R.
Yeah, I mean, it makes 300 crank, they say.
Yeah.
And if it's a 3-cylinder, that's
100 horsepower per cylinder.
I mean, that's a lot for a little 3-cylinder, and it's pushing an all-wheel drive car. Yeah, it's unfortunately that's one of the things you sacrifice for the incredible driving experience that is the GR Corolla. Also, it drives better in 50/50 than it does in 30/70.
I was really surprised about that.
Yeah, it definitely. I think all modern GR vehicles, it doesn't matter, Supra, 8.6, Corolla, swap out your brake fluid because the brake pedals start traveling a little bit towards the end there. But that was me doing a run down, immediately turning around and coming straight back. And
though, it's January.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think it's all the GR cars, with the Supra and like with me with the 8.6, I mean, the OEM fluid was fine.
What's the weight on it?
3242.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 3,200 pound car. Does it have 4 pots in the front?
Yes.
2 pots in the rear?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can see it fighting it a little bit.
in the rear.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't even have 2 pot in the rear.
Yeah.
Wait, no, sorry. I was thinking the amount total. It's single piston.
Okay.
Single
Now we're making more sense.
Yeah.
But
I just think,
to the rear on a factory.
but it's all the GR products because
Right.
even the 8.6, like the new 8.6 and the new BRZ 2022s, the 2022 BRZ suffered less brake fade at VIR because it had super brake fluid in it and not Toyota brake fluid. So I just think it's, if you get a GR Corolla, change brake fluid.
Same brake fluids in a Prius.
Yeah, and also just don't pay your markups. We're always going to say that. Don't pay your
You
markups.
don't pay
markups.
markups. Dude, I literally looked at one today, $57,000.
I got a call from Toyota because I inquired about a circuit, and they were like, "We're doing a $6,000 adjustment." I was like, "That's a $50,000 before tax, tag, title, and everything else, warranties and all that. That's a $50,000 cheap."
Okay.
Go buy
Supra.
GR Supra.
That's, I think,
Literally for the same price after taxes and everything, including their markup,
Yeah.
go buy a GR Supra.
I think at $50,000 the GR Corolla loses its value, and for everyone that's going to be different. Some are going to be like, "Oh, I'll pay $65 because it's such a rare, cool car."
Yeah.
Or, heritage, whatever. This thing's, the rebirth of the GT4. But, yeah, I think that car loses its value, especially from driving it. It is not a $50,000 driving experience. It is definitely a $45,000 driving experience. Because once you get in 45, I mean, you are in a realm of new
there's
Realm of new
automotive,
possibilities.
Yeah, that is a car. If you line up everything you could buy for 45, I would pick that for my top 5 to know. That car was extremely enjoyable, and I could drive it all the time. That's the best part. Is even when it was snowing up here, you can take that thing out and go right in.
Through some.
Yeah.
Drive it all the way to the gas tank because it only gets 20 miles.
So anyway, enough about me.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks, Chris, especially. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you,
for
Chris.
allowing
That
us to
was special. That
do
was
that. Very,
awesome.
very grateful for that.
What about you, Austin? Anything happen over the week, bud?
Man, build a bed.
Man,
Whoa!
finally!
Man.
Hell yeah!
Give him a golf clap. Yeah, for the bed builder.
Yeah. IKEA engineer.
Okay.
How long have you had that bed? Just
Yeah, tell him how long you've had this bed.
I've had
It's
that bed.
mu-
I've had that.
No.
I've had that bed for about a month and a half.
Yeah. Yes, you have.
Well, yeah, it
Finally
looked
around.
pretty good in that box.
What's your Wade? Anything new happen, man?
I've just sat in a corner, just in the dark.
No, you're daily
Shivering
driving
like
a
a
stock
chihuahua.
86 again. How does that feel?
It's not.
Stock 8.6 at that.
That's what I said.
Bone stock.
It
I
is
was
stock.
like, he's driving a stock 86, and it counts as like a stock on it. Really drive that point home.
No,
but
it's
yeah,
nice to feel what I wish I held on to a little bit longer. Because, a lot of people buy a car and they want to just like, oh, I'm going to do this, and
the whole
this.
catalog.
And then you miss out. You miss a lot.
So do you, this is a hard one, do you regret modifying your 86 as much as you have?
Not on the lease, I don't. Like, it's how the car's set up has made me such a happy person and, developed my driving career and everything like that. But I do hate the fact that I went crazy and just started going ham at it right away.
See,
Because I remember when I did my first track day, and this is just something that instructors are going to be like, oh, you've got 200 tread wear tires on a car that you've never had on track before?
Yeah.
So,
immediately get nervous.
Yeah.
really concerned.
Start getting a little stressed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a 4-point harness in that passenger seat I see there?
Dude, I will never forget my first 86. I put a harness through the headrest
Oh,
around my
Jesus
neck,
Christ.
and I hooked it onto the upper because you're never supposed to put a harness down.
Down,
behind you.
yes. Never.
Which, if
That
you
car
guys don't know
probably-
that, the harness net should never go like more than 5 degrees down
Yeah,
from
It's like
your
a
back.
15
because
degree
If you're
angle.
curious,
Like
Champ Car has a great catalog on that.
Yeah.
Like Champ Car rules, look at it.
But anyway, so I had a stock seat and I had a 5-point harness just so I didn't go under, and I ran it through the 2 little posts on the headrest
Yeah.
around my neck to the upper seatbelt latch portion. Like if you move the back seats on the 86 down, the little latch at the top,
Yeah.
put it up there. I was like, that's safe if I get in a wreck. But like, had I gotten in a wreck, it would have literally scissored my neck.
Jesus.
But anyway, so driving a Psych 86 probably feels
It's
pretty
fun.
good.
Have a good time drifting every turn.
I will say.
That's how I feel in mine.
Yes, now here's the thing. How many miles are on this BRZ?
It's new. It's 2013 and it's pretty much new.
How many miles are on it? Like 20 something?
22,000.
22,000.
What?
Yeah.
I have more than that on mine. And I've been through an
That's
engine
the same-
already.
You're at 22K? That's how much the R has. That's 2019.
Yeah, that car's got 20.
I roll over 30 next
For
week.
my 2014, just rolled over 91,500 today, like on my way here.
And you just did your coil packs?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that even coil packs made it that far.
My full packs on the Miata lasted till
That's
last
different.
year.
That's a
That's,
Miata.
that's a Miata.
Last year.
I've never seen 86 coil packs make it past like 80.
Mine
Now, I
lasted
will say,
290,000
those
miles.
coil packs, when I got my BRZ, had close to 72,000 miles on it. We'll say 72,000. And even then, that it had a coil pack missing.
Oh, okay. So see, it's important.
I literally just put it off for like a year and a half, just not done it.
So I know you don't do a lot during the week.
Calm down.
But I was going to ask you something cool as your like small talk thingy.
Okay.
What's the most interesting thing that you aligned?
This week?
Yeah.
Oh, I know this.
Is
You're
it the
looking
R35 that you did today?
You're looking
Yes,
at it.
it's in.
Did you align that RC car?
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
No,
Was
so
it the new Fastech
so that's
motorsport car?
Fastech's car. The owner of the car's name is Damon. He's got really close ties with Fastech.
Okay.
That car just broke my official record for most horsepower I've had on my rack.
10.
Yes. Now times that by a lot.
About 100.
How much horsepower did it make?
That car on a dyno made just shy of 2,100 horsepower. horsepower.
Ooh, I was
Yeah,
close.
welcome to the wonderful world of Texas 2K R35.
That's right.
So they leave tomorrow to go to the GTR World Cup in Florida. Quarter mile drags. They're hoping to break 200 horsepower 200 mile an hour in the quarter mile and
sub 7.
get into the sub 7s.
Yeah,
That's their goal.
Someone ran a
It's a 6-second pass.
Someone ran a
Yes.
651 yesterday.
The car weighs. Actually, I don't know if I'm really allowed to tell their shit, but
No, you're not allowed to say weight.
Okay, well I won't tell you.
Because if you know horsepower and weight, then
Well, I think with their stuff, because it's GTR World Cup, I think it's class
It's
that, like they
class
have to
by
scale
class.
before them.
Yeah.
So
it weighs less than,
well, a
without
stock
giving a specific
a
weight.
stock GTR weighs 3,900 pounds,
Oh, that's
Less
not
than
that bad.
and it's
Less than that.
roughly 700 pounds less than that.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
Or more.
Um,
Or less.
But-
Or less.
but I think he said something about 58 millimeter turbos, something like that, and he said that the class just changed. Now he can run a 68 millimeter turbos, and it's still twins, obviously. That car is no joke.
Is it a Strokers? It's still 3.5.
No, it's fully stroked, and it has a
What is it, like 14
$30,000
trans?
engine block,
Oh.
made of one solid hunk.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It's a billet.
Yeah, it's a billet block.
It's
Yes.
a billet
30
block,
grand
yes.
is actually on the cheaper side for what I would expect.
Especially for a billet block.
Yeah.
That car does not play around. The last time they had it on track, they broke their own record, but they also threw a rod to the side of the
Yeah.
block. So R.I.P.
What about that trans?
Yeah. It's
That's
probably
what
like a
I'm
Shep.
curious about.
Probably like a Shep Stage 8.
I don't know what they have on that car. I don't know a lot of specifics.
Did you drive it onto the rack?
Oh no, I actually let them do that. I just let them do their thing.
Dude, I can only imagine just a...
crawling my fat ass into their fucking like cage stuff.
Oh, that was like a
Going
jungle gym in there.
over
It's
the
a
door,
full blown,
door bar.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean,
a whole-
there's you gotta think, man. When you get up into those horsepower
Oh.
ranges, the safety increases by like.
Well, yeah, if you have 2,000... If you're going 200 miles an hour
It's
Yeah,
not even,
quarter mile.
so
and
the
you
thing
pop
about-
a tire, bro, you're dead.
The thing about cages in like the racing aspect, like especially drag racing, it's not based on like your horsepower numbers.
Right.
It's based on your time.
Your time in mile per
elapsed
hour.
time and mile per hour.
And
Also, if you have a bolt-in cage, take that shit out of your car. You are better off with nothing because in a real accident,
hard
those are
dog
gonna
roll
snap.
bars, Miatas.
Huh?
Hard dog
Miatas?
roll bars are bolted.
No, I'm talking about the ones that the stands kids have that bolt like in the C-pillar and bolt across
yeah.
and
Okay,
bolt like
yeah.
bolt into the floor that can be reinforced.
Self taps on the headrest. I've seen
That's
that.
right.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a bolt-in everywhere cage, those guys with roll bars in their convertibles,
Yep.
that's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have a bolt, take that shit out of
I
your
mean,
car.
I gave it the shook test, and I said that thing ain't going anywhere.
Dude, I just, it's so silly.
No, like I said, dude. This week specifically has been very busy for me at work. Taking in extra cars. Springtime is coming up, so people
Yeah,
are starting to
everyone's
plan.
prepping.
Yeah, everybody's starting to prep. Everybody is starting to file with taxes.
Yep.
Hurry up and get them returns.
I'm
They're
gonna
starting
start
to
retiring
blow in
soon,
money.
too.
I hate tax season.
Yeah.
I owe every year, so it's pointless for me.
What will you do? Really?
Yeah,
Because of his
the
wife.
The wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't like rely on tax returns to make modifications to my cars.
Fair.
Tomorrow I
That's-
take. Well, I'm not bragging about my damn garage.
No, everything else.
We're bragging about your
Either
garage.
all those cars under the carport outside, or all three his.
Yeah.
Well, okay. The other four are the wife's, alright.
Yeah.
But tomorrow I bring the S2000 to work. I'm going to be putting a Miltech catback exhaust on it.
Are you going to the open house Sunday?
That's the whole reason why I'm putting Miltech on, because I was invited. Well, our shop is
Shout out Miltech.
our shop is a Miltech certified dealer.
And Miltech is, for everyone listening, what does Miltech do?
Miltech makes exhausts of just about any sort. You think about a car that they've not done one on, they're going to want to see your car because they want a prototype,
Including GR Corolla.
including GR Corolla.
Yeah. Shout out to Miltech for
Yes.
reaching out so quickly after they saw the video. They were like, we're going to do something for
Yes.
this.
Hey, we want that.
Miltech
Yeah.
actually has opened up their first store in the U.S. because it's a UK-based exhaust company. They opened up their first store in the U.S. and we have all been lucky enough to have it here in Alcoa.
It's like 20
That
minutes
is
that
great.
way.
It's
Yeah.
less than that. It's more like 7 minutes that way. Literally, it's
That's
behind West
awesome.
Chevrolet.
Oh, wow.
It's literally that close.
So shout out Miltech. If you
Yes.
guys are considering getting an exhaust-free car, check them out.
Yeah, they're very underrated because their biggest competitor is AWE.
That's not really...
Well,
I
I
hate my opinion.
have AWE on my Type R.
Didn't your brother have that?
Love
He
it.
does.
And didn't it fall apart?
What?
Or
So-
the things fell off the
So
back?
what happened with my brother's exhaust for his 2022 BRZ was he got the AWE track edition,
Mm-hmm.
and so literally he said everything lined up pretty well and everything. Like there was nothing wrong with getting it on or nothing. But he was coming home literally just after putting the exhaust on, and they don't use. I guess you could call them technically slip joints, but one of his exhaust tips fell off.
Is that user install error or manufacturer error?
Manufacturer, really, to be honest, because
And that's why you buy a Miltech.
so the reason why it fell off is mainly because of the hardware they send with these exhausts. Like now, his exhaust, it does sound pretty good. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Was he able to fix it?
Yeah, what we did was what he ended up doing was like, dude, go down to Marble Fasteners, which is across the dang hill right here. Literally, I could walk to it from here.
Yes.
But I said, go to Marble Fasteners, get a different bolt and a couple locking washers and a Teflon lock nut if they have them in that size,
A good exhaust company will give you the right equipment.
and
Correct.
put that on that exhaust tip.
And also, shout out to Miltech being local to us. If there was any error whatsoever, you just go straight to them.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's another
But-
thing.
It's kind of nice.
So
There's a yellow need one too.
what failed was it was literally a hardware failure because because it's not like your normal exhaust how it bolts up, like how our Nvidias bolt up
I had a video on my first one.
on our first gen BRZs. It's not the 2-bolt flanges.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the 2-bolt flange style. It's literally a slip joint, which is not even a slip joint. You just and then it's like two
V-band?
small tabs
Mm-hmm.
that you put a carrier bolt through, and the carrier bolt literally has almost a half inch
Oh,
of
that's not-
movement.
Yeah.
And it's not even a lock nut that they give you; it's just a nut or something.
That's how AutoZone special.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much like the AutoZone special hardware.
And so that's who Miltech's competing with. They'll be fine.
And
Yeah.
the bolt didn't even tighten up, and he said he put it on with my 3/8 Milwaukee Impact,
See, what's weird is
and
when
the
I put
carrier
my-
bolt failed.
I put my cap back on mine and I never had a single issue. I put that thing on literally 30 minutes on my rack.
On what brand?
That
And
AWE
maybe.
on on Type R.
But there's a reason you're switching to Miltech.
But see, they're not consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm-
two.
That's two.
I don't know, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
one AWE and one Miltech now, and then
Get double single exits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Integra's literally gonna have. It has like weird shit.
Are you gonna
Oh.
drive that car?
Just
He did. He drove it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. He drove it out of the garage.
The
is
car's
what he did.
moved more in
Okay.
the past 3 weeks. That car's moved in 2 years. So.
I had to. I bought a bigger jump box for it because
Dude, I want to buy my car so bad.
you give me a lot of money. And I'll let you.
Yeah.
I need some money to fix that rear spoiler.
The roof spoiler needs to be ripped off and probably thrown out.
Yes.
All right, I can agree with this. There's some things I want to put on it.
Put it in
I don't
the
know if the
bin.
camera can see it, but I've got seats over here for it. I haven't even put on
Yeah,
yet.
the plaid bridge
Yeah.
moto seats.
Yes, and I'm
Shout
very
out
excited.
I was
Bridge
gonna say,
Moto.
shout out to
Bridge
Alex.
Moto.
Yeah, Bridge Moto. I wear their pants every day for
Fantastic.
it, which have a hole in the crotch right now.
Can I wear your pants?
Those are the specialty Valentine's Day edition.
Alan made those just for
That's
you.
right.
Yes, sir. But no, I'm gonna get that car out a little bit more.
The Integra?
Yes.
Dude, I want to see that thing. I miss mine so much. Speaking of like things we like about the Dragon, dude, you can have fun in any car up there. And the Integra, it's riot up there.
Once I
Good
get some
cars.
things fixed on it, I'll like it better. Right now, the coilovers are just so old; and they need to go away.
Wait.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. Though. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but yours are still better quality than those. I promise you.
Hey, 7 years strong.
Hey, speaking of coilovers, guys.
Oh, that is
Oh,
what Couch
yeah.
did.
Yes,
recently.
sir, that's right. So, this past weekend, me and Wade did put my Fortunatos on my BRZ, and I gotta tell you, these new Generation 8 struts that Fortunato has,
Mhm.
fantastic.
Dude, I'm a massive fan of Fortunato. I actually had him on the 2, and when she had her off, one of the tabs for the brake line broke.
Yeah.
And it happened with it.
Yeah.
But she messaged Dev at Fortunato. She was like, "Hey, this happened." He's like, "Oh, we've never seen one of those break. Here's a new bottom."
Yep.
Like the whole base. He was like, "Here you go." Send it
Yeah.
to it, and it was really nice. Had a note in it and everything.
That's
He
sick.
didn't even ask questions. She showed him what happened. She's like, "Hey, have you guys seen this happen?" And he goes, "What's your address?" He didn't bomb her or anything. He was like, "What's your address?"
Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
how do you like it?
Yeah. So the coilovers themselves are really good. I like them a lot.
What spring rates did you give it?
6, 7.
Okay.
I was wondering if you went 6, 7, or 9, 9 because those are the 2 options, right?
I think so. I didn't really
9,
look.
9 stiff.
Did you do
though.
the Swift spring
No,
upgrade?
I did not.
No, okay.
No. And well, that's the whole thing. Like, I didn't go to a different spring rate. Why I went with the default spring rate is because I didn't want them as stiff as the BCs are on the NC, because
Rattle
my
your,
BCs are freaking stiff.
no, rattle your motor loose and blow it up.
That's not what happened, but we'll leave it at is it's fun.
Something else was a little loose that night.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But so the Fortunatos, those Generation 8 struts for the 500 series are fantastic. I drove to work Monday, couldn't even tell I even had coilovers on.
The car's on the ground.
No,
It's
it was
there's
funny
nothing there.
because I've been driving a stock 8.6
Stock.
to work, okay, and I'll park beside him, and you can definitely his is stock other than the coilovers and the
Yeah.
exhaust, but you can definitely tell that we've lowered it down because they're side by side. You just see just a
Yeah.
little drop.
Yeah, and the thing is, we didn't even lower it that much. I literally, Fortunato, they don't set preload or ride height when they send them to you. You do that yourself, which is not a big deal. It's fairly easy. It took me maybe 10 minutes to set preload on all 4 of those coilovers. You literally just a measuring tape and literally the tools they send you, the spanners and the Allen keys, and that's it. That's all you need.
Nice.
And we might have lowered the car like a half inch,
Probably, yeah.
maybe
I'll get
maybe
lower.
a half inch.
I'd get them lower. But
Dude, it makes me so happy to see everybody working on their cars
Well,
and
it's
stuff.
getting
Like,
wheels
now
and
it's
tires
Transformer.
soon,
That's
so
true. You can't
I'm
go as
not
low
gonna
with that. Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Dude,
dump it even more, but
I'm
I'm
so
just gonna
upset
put
that
18s on it.
on a second gen 8.6, you have to get coilovers, else you can't run bigger than a 17 by 8.
Yeah,
That's weird.
yeah.
Dude, I have. Oh,
I'm
I'm not even gonna get.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna get into my
Yeah,
8.6,
it's-
man. That's a whole other episode.
It's I have wheels right now at home that I've had for a month and a half, almost 2 months now. I'm just and I'm needing tires. I'm I'll just buy 265s.
Are they 18 by 9.5?
Mm-hmm. They came off an FRS. 18 by 9.5 plus 38s.
I mean, they're not
exact
That's
opposite.
yeah. That's
they're not the
pretty
most perfect wheel in the
Yeah,
world,
they're
but
not.
they're perfect for getting some wide board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To drive up at the Dragon, which is what we're talking about today.
It's I'm not gonna put super sticky tires on it either. I'm on 200s right now, but they were $138 a piece.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
So,
Especially for
and
something
the ones
with
I'm
stickies
looking at
on.
now are the Yokohama Advent Apexes, the one that Doug has on his Type R.
Amazing tire.
I want the AO. What's the one that the Fire Rando's Escort just ran on? Like the AO 50 or whatever it is.
I have
The
no
new,
idea.
their new 200 treadwear.
I think it's 100.
Oh,
I just want to try them though. Not up here. I want to go on
I
track.
just want to wear them out in 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
Dude, my 71 RSs lasted me 3,200. Longest a set of 200s has
I've
lasted me up
gotten
here.
probably close to 7,000 miles out of those 615K buses.
I'm doing 200 show wears whenever I get new wheels for that.
I really don't want to put 200s on my car anymore after what happened last year. Because as much as I love driving on the Dragon, which I guess we're going to get to that in a second, but dude,
You went through 4 sets last year of 200s?
no, that is my 8th set of tires.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And I went through
8 sets and 30,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've been 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I was
think about it, my
purposely going
job
for it.
is up there, and especially I used to work 7 days a week up
Yep.
there. So I'm doing 2 runs every day.
Mhm.
And it's
You don't
just-
have to do the roads. You
No,
can be
no,
like
no,
everybody
you
else.
don't have
to
Just
do the
normal
roads.
driving in and
No, I'm
out with your
talking
Honda.
about-
Calling him out here.
I'm talking about even a regular cruiser. It's just naturally going to eat tires.
You need to get you a fit. And then
Yes, that is. We're going to have another discussion on perfect daily drivers.
We
or
need to
something
have
like
the whole
that.
entire episode dedicated to what Dylan needs. Yeah.
I have as much as I want a GR Corolla, I need 2 cars, and so I am very very settled on. I don't know what my race car would be, or if I'm going to keep the 8.6, but I'm definitely settled on getting a 3rd gen fit. A little better fuel economy, 6 gears, a little bit better haptics and ergonomics on the
Something
inside.
boring.
I think
Fits are boring, but
no, but I think for me, having me, Ashley, and Faden, having a fit's fine.
You know how many sets of tires you can fit in a fit?
Fit a lot of fit.
I think
I
when
Landry-
the grid life would put like 8 sets or
Landry
eight
Rogers
sets,
has
but
put 3 full sets of wheels
3
and
sets.
3 full sets of
But,
wheels
for
and
me,
tires
shooting
in
up
his
there,
fit.
For me, shooting up there would be perfect because I could have all my stuff. And there'd be a ton of room, and I could sleep in it. Way easier than I could sleep in the 8.6.
Especially if we get those busy weekends where you need to save your spot for the
Yeah.
next day.
Yeah, exactly. So it would just make more sense.
Speaking of which, how fun are those busy weekends?
I will say, busy weekends. So up at the Dragon, one of the things that I really like, which segueing into what we like about the Dragon.
Go ahead and
Thank you.
I
I was trying to steer that way.
Yeah, as a photographer on the Dragon, one of my favorite things is busy weekends with people that know how to drive. And I'm talking about like groups that, they pick the right time. You won't see them between like 11 a.m. and like 1:30 p.m.
Early risers.
Or if it's a really
early
really,
or late. Yeah. But like, Touge Fest, for the rap that it's had in the past, thankfully it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
But like when those kids come out, or my other favorite, like classic Hondas, Wookiees in the Woods, and Rotary Rally, I love sitting there. Oh, and the invading the Dragon when all the E92s go by.
No,
Dude, that is one of the
V8 ITV noises.
Yeah, so I was sitting at my S's right by the Overlook. Or,
Yeah.
Overlook, whatever. And I heard like 6 of them leave the Overlook at once. Just,
Yeah.
And then they all came up that first right and then left and went through my S's together. And I was like, oh, it sounds so good. But that's probably one of my favorite things I like, especially about being a photographer up there. Best job in the world. By far. Best job in the world.
You left out Miata's at the gap.
No.
We're not even going to get into
Those are different
MATG.
types of people.
I'm
I'm not going to get into Matt G.
No.
But I will say there are a lot of events, not just the ones I named, but there are a lot of events that I get to just sit and it's like a moving cars and coffee.
I was supposed to say, that's the cool thing about you working up there is the fact that you get to see a bunch of stuff come through. You see more cars and more mule cars come through there than what the average Joe would see that has to hit it up on the weekend, so that's cool. Because you never know, like...
Those lemons up there.
I'm so mad at
God, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They always come through when it's terrible weather, too.
I know.
They always do.
Which I guess they do at this time of year. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that is probably my number one thing about working at the Dragon is, I don't get to go to a lot of car shows and stuff like that on the weekend because I'm working.
Well, the car shows come to you.
But that's the best part. And like you get the like Pagani rally, the Ferrari 250 GTOs that came through. I mean, these just cars that I wouldn't get the chance to see anywhere else. I'm not gonna see 8 250 GTOs running together anywhere. Not even Road Atlanta.
Not even at Cars and Coffee.
Nowhere. There's nowhere you're going to see that. Not even at Laguna Seca, not at Lime Rock for Grid Life. You're not going to see that anywhere, but they did it on the Dragon. And I was recording, like I had my phone set, and I had my camera, and I was like this, and whenever they went by, I was like, I better not fuck up these shots. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite
But
parts.
did they buy their photos?
They had a private thing. Like we could post their photos publicly and all that. So yeah.
Okay.
We got a nice chunk of change from them. And that's... With a lot of rallies and stuff, I really like how much they appreciate us being out there.
Yeah.
Because we get, instead of them going in and buying their photos, they'll, communicate with Daryl beforehand and they'll get a package.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we get a percent of that
Okay.
or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So we're always compensated by, pretty big rallies, especially the more expensive cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, and being up there, and even if it's like an old couple on a Harley or like this kid who just bought his Miata, or someone who's had their A86 for 30 years, dude, seeing somebody go by me and smile and like get really happy getting their picture taken makes my day every time. It is 100% why I do that. Like the money's cool, but being able to sit up there and make people's day, that is super.
See the occasional set of boobs.
Is that a Kamal thing, or is that a...
No, that's every...
No, I would
that's
say
all.
probably last year total I saw less than 10.
Okay.
10 sets.
One was
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, but I saw more butts of dudes than boobs.
What the
I will
So I was
never.
waiting for you.
I will never forget seeing my first butt on the dragon.
But
And like, when they go by and you see something pop out the window, I usually zoom in and take pictures of it. And those are the only set of photos I was like, I don't care how they look, I'm not scrolling back through them. Because it wasn't like kind of his butt was out, it was like,
it was his butt.
dude, he was Cyclops stare down. it was not good.
Man put emphasis on spread.
Dude. Yeah, to that guy that came by last spring in a black Mark 6 Golf GTI with 4 other dudes in there. They were 5 deep in a Golf.
Oh god.
Someone's
Yeah.
gonna comment on the reel and be like, "Hey,
That was me!
I hope they do if they would do
We
it.
That was my butt!
Dude.
We'll specifically give you a shout out if you comment.
Dude,
on
I'll give him
our
free photo. I'll buy his photos for him. Dude, that guy went by and I was like, alright. He said, what an asshole.
hey, good. I like that."
But that's what I really like. What about you?
For me, it's got to be the people. I mean,
Yeah.
so
you're in the
I
room
grew
as
up on the
much.
north. I'm about to say I grew up on the North Carolina side, and I could name off the top of my head at least 5 or 6 other roads that are way better in elevation change, way steep, like way tighter. Way more desolate. So you get to have more clean runs, and I could name quite a few different roads. I just go out there and just drive and have a good time. But I haven't been to pretty much any of those roads in over a year.
And you moved here.
But I go to the Dragon, and even when I would live next to those roads, I would still go to the Dragon because I get to see all the people that I've got to meet through them, like you guys, and I've also gotten to meet a ton of new friends and just talk to just random strangers, have a good conversation. May not even see them again, or
Yeah, those are my favorite.
I mean, I have friends that I only see twice a year, only at the Dragon, and every time I see them, it's
I met a guy last year at Miata's at the Gap, literally because he was from Canada. He drove down from Canada.
Oh, the dude with the NB?
I
The
believe-
the bald dude?
I think so.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but he drove down from Canada, and I only talked to him once. It was the only time that entire weekend that I seen him.
Yeah.
It was Friday afternoon at
Dude, he was up there
7:30.
all week. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, I get to see, I get to, meet all these cool people that I may only see twice a year, only at the Dragon, whenever they do their yearly trips. And that's super cool to me because, I want to get to call that place home, where people literally travel across, around the world to go to this place.
Bucket list.
Yeah, it's a bucket list for a ton of people. That's home for me.
Yeah.
And, for me, it's part of that. Really, really enjoy the lack of phone service, even though that's kind of changing right now. But
Yep.
I enjoy the lack of phone service because
It's nice to escape.
it's stuck with this stupid thing.
You don't have to worry about other people.
We get to
being on
just
their
sit here and
phones.
talk and have genuine conversations with people instead of people going, "Hey, how's your day going?"
Yeah.
Dude, 1 a.m. Overlook conversations?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sitting at the Overlook. I've sat hours at the Overlook without even realizing it. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, just sitting on the side of a road talking.
Yeah.
I mean, why would that happen anywhere else?
Yeah.
It's like when you were young, whose house is everyone's at? You look for the bikes. All the
Yeah.
bikes are at someone's house. It's just, same thing with the Overlook. It's like, oh, there's everybody.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, there's his car, there's her car,
I think another thing that Austin touched on is that I think for the Dragon, and just speaking on, I can speak for myself, but I think we all have a little bit of this, is it's been a mental health beacon.
Dude, it is.
Yeah.
And if you're going up there and you're struggling with something and you really want to be alone, you can, but if you really feel lonely, you can make friends anywhere on that road.
I highly recommend everybody read Kyle's plaque at the
Yeah,
Dragon.
I was about to
Yeah.
bring that up.
Yeah.
Read Kyle's plaque.
And so it's about
Every one of us feel that way.
It's 1.5 miles in from the North Carolina side,
Yep.
and it's a tree that has a bunch of memorials on it and stuff. But he has a plaque on the tree, and you can see it has a bunch of blue stuff on the tree, and you can see it. And you can pull. There's a pull off kind of near it, and you can pull off and
right.
No, there's a pull off right
Yeah,
at it.
it's like right
It
there.
is
Yeah.
small. It is a
Yeah,
small.
it
You
is
can only
small.
fit one car, maybe two, if you're really.
I wave
good
at
with
it every time I pass by.
Yeah, I always do a finger whenever
Every time.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it serves as a big mental health beacon for a lot of us. There are nights I've had where I'm just like, dude, I'm super depressed, and I'm so thankful that we have it so close.
Yeah.
Especially for me, because I take foothills over.
Yeah,
So,
and
like,
I'm closer than everybody else here. I'm literally 20 minutes away from the Overlook.
Last time I had the javelin at the Overlook, I'm not gonna lie, did a big old burnout right in front of Kyle's corner.
Dude, yeah.
Like it was like 11 o'clock at night. No one
else.
So I was like, I just kind of stopped, just let her eat right there.
Fat
Just
skin.
did a
Fat
big old
skin.
burnout. Like
Speaking of, you know what? No, never mind. You guys go ahead. I can say or talk about it all day because I see so much stuff that you guys go ahead.
No, well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing, with the people and then having the experience. I know a lot of people, they'll see the reels that I post on what's going on Touge, either at the garage or, up on the Dragon. And it's nice to be able to come out of that garage, take a few videos of the cars and be like 22 minutes, just be at the Overlook, start recording up there too, get some more content. And like you were saying, there's other roads that are around the area that you can, Parkway, for example, the new link is fantastic.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
But-
just paved. Oh,
and it's
so nice.
gorgeous. The
It is
views,
gorgeous.
man.
The views are fantastic.
Yes.
I'm going to do that tomorrow because I'm not shooting tomorrow. I'm not doing anything.
And it's going to be dead anyways because the
This is
weather
fine.
and stuff. But, it's like Doug. I've met a lot of people that pertain to Doug and where Doug works at Eurospec. And his previous job when he was at Firestone, you go to the Dragon and, the word gets out. If you do really good work, then it gets out.
especially
And that's
like,
connected me a lot. I mean, a lot of people in this room. But it's a fantastic place. It really, like, the therapy that's in it, just going up, hanging out with people, the rallies that come through. Like, summertime, like, wintertime is one thing, but when you're up there in a summer day, or even a summer night, like, get out of the car, you get those nights, and I know it seems rare, you'll get a night where there's nobody on the road in the middle of summer.
And it's like 73 degrees and 2 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
You can park
Yes.
anywhere and take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
I almost fell asleep shooting one day like that.
Bro,
I
I go up
slept on the
there.
Dragon
I can
more
go up
times
there
than
and
I
take a
count.
nap like any time of day almost.
I did it in Touge Fest 2017. I've driven like all night. I went to see you when I popped my Fiesta tire.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
got brand new 71Rs put on. I went back to the Dragon and slept for 2 hours and then pulled off.
I wasn't even there, I don't think, was I?
Hey,
Oh, no, you were there.
Oh, okay, it was that year.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah,
just
it's
got
Oh no, it was, yeah, you were there. It was the other year in 2019 that I was thinking about. It was it was 2019 that I was thinking about.
I used to keep a hammock in my cars just so because I'd go up, I would get out of work on Friday and it looked like an hour away, so I didn't really want to drive back after doing runs all night.
Yeah.
So I'd drive up there, do a few runs, find me in a good little pull off, throw up the hammock, sleep,
Oh.
wake up at 5 a.m., start doing runs again. I did over 300 miles in one weekend out just on the Dragon by doing that.
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt. I thought you were done.
You're good.
Are you done?
Done.
Okay.
We're done.
No,
We are done.
The hammock thing made me think. So obviously I'm a photographer up there. Dude, if you are alone, if it's your first time up there, if you don't know what to do, if you're like scared, or even if you just want to hang out, bro, hang out with me at my photo booth. I will say, you're talking about the friends thing. I have had so many people like cross-introduce themselves.
Mhm.
Like, I know this person, and I know this person, and then they meet. Like, Charlie met Rocky, who met Fiesta Sean Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them had never met. And then this past Saturday, there were 8 cars at Mud in that pull-off, and everyone was like hanging out. It was like a little Touge Fest. Everyone was just hanging out, and that's one thing I like. I'm not going to say... I've been afforded the opportunity to allow other people to experience that. They see my booth and they see my 8.6. They're like, I can stop and have a conversation, take a break from driving, and I can watch the car show. And then naturally, you guys have seen my pull-offs, especially at Touge Fest.
Yeah.
10, 15 cars. And it gets a little stressful, but it's cool having everyone meet. Like, there were like 5 Jzilla instructors at my pull-off at Touge Fest.
Yeah, but
And
we were
then-
just sitting there just chilling.
Yeah, and dude, there's that picture I have on my Instagram of, if you want to put it up,
Boom!
of it's me shooting, and it's the whole corner. And there's like 3 cars coming in and 2 cars coming in, and cars in the pull off, and everyone's there just hanging out. And I think that picture really encapsulated Touge Fest and the Dragon as a whole. It's like you can go up there, and it's just, no matter if it's like 20 mile an hour winds and sideways Forrest Gump rain, or if it's beautiful weather, not a cloud in the sky, it can always be enjoyable up there. 100%. I think that's what I really like. Is it?
Honestly, it's stormy nights.
It doesn't have to be good weather to make it good. I've had some really good drives in the rain.
my favorite is when you get those like right before a storm and you're doing your run back home,
Yeah.
and it's like lightning's flashing, but it hasn't
Yes.
started raining yet, so it's just like lightning's flashing all
You're-
around you. You're doing a run.
You're
You hear
literally
Danger
racing
Zone
the
on the
storm.
radio.
Yeah, you are racing the storm.
Yeah, and
I
it's
gotta
just
get out of here.
that is a
Your
vibe
phone's
and a
going.
half. It's a vibe and a half just running through there. The lightning going off, but no rain. It's a dry road.
I'd probably say my favorite thing about it is, you touched on it about, the people who know my name out there.
Mm.
It is so cool, especially when you go up to Touge Fest or you go, out to the Gap weekend or any kind of specific weekend, and you do your pass through or whatever like that. You don't even go fast or anything. Just go to your pass, get down to the Killboy store or the gas station, whatever. You get out. And you have 2 or 3 people walk up to you and be like, "Oh, dude, I ain't seen you for a month, man. How you doing? I need to come in and get my alignment done, or I need to do this, or whatever like that."
Or even just like, how have you been?
Yeah, I mean, majority of people ask. Usually, it's car. It's usually my
Yeah.
work related things, which is fine. But what?
Mr. Celebrity over there.
Whoa. My favorite thing isn't. It's not so much those guys. Which those guys are awesome. It's the randos from different states, or the ones from different. Even countries for that matter, come up and be like, "Wow, this car's really nice," and especially when I bring the R up there because of the fact that, it's one of the more up tier cars. Is like, you see a million 8.6s, or you see a million of this. When someone brings a car that nobody really sees a lot, like they come up to you and they're asking questions about, "Man, I haven't seen one of these in a long time," or they'll come up and be like, "Oh man, I really wanted one of these, but I couldn't afford it, so I went with this," or something of the sort. And I can't tell you how many people I'm just like. It's a Civic, man. Sit in it. Check it out.
Yeah.
Like, go all in. Like, I hate when people
It's an Integra.
are like, "Oh, I have a Civic Type R, and it's, nose in the air type of thing. And it's better. I'm better than you type of thing." I like it. It's a fucking Civic, dude. Come on, come sit in it.
I'm gonna go.
I do want to touch on that though.
Go for it.
Smidge your tippers.
Another thing I thoroughly enjoy is when people bring their families up there.
Yes.
And so you're sitting there at like Killboy store just hanging out, and you see this like 7-year-old kid who's just like floors on the ground because
Surrounded by
they were
cars.
just driving through and they just watched you drive through, and that car's sitting there and they're just oohing and ahhing. Of course,
You
like
start someone's dream.
like you said, you
You
open
really
up the
do.
door so they could sit in it. I've let kids just like sit there, and I had a kid one time who sat in my car for like 45 minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a Miata. He's not gonna hurt anything in
Yeah.
there. You know what I
Guarantee
mean?
that kid has Miata now.
Yeah,
100%.
Probably, poor guy.
100%.
I'd probably ruin that man's life.
How many hair dryers can you fit in there?
Oh my
A
god.
lot.
Another thing that's really fun to do is you get people that like you do a run with. Okay, so say people are like new to the Dragon, or people who don't come up very often. They're not very fast per se up there, staying the speed limit for allegedly purposes. You'll do a quick run. You kind of caught them up to them pretty quick, or they let you by and you left them or something of the sort. And they get down to the end, be like, "Man, that was a great run," or like that. And they come up to you, and even if you weren't pushing it, or anything like that, it's like, yeah. And I can't tell you how many people I've been like, "It's got 4 doors and 4 seats. Jump in. We'll go for a quick little spin, man.
Yeah.
Come on." And I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna go 10/10 with these people because most of the time I don't even know them.
Bro, don't go over 6/10 with a passenger ever.
Yeah.
Don't. If you have a passenger and you're going over 6/10 on the mountain, you're an asshole. We hit that last.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
we
did
did.
that
We
last
did.
time.
Yeah, but don't go over 6/10 with a passenger, and don't pay your
say
markups.
someone in the car.
But it's so fun because
And
you
buy
can
your
throw 'em-
photos.
Buy your photo. You can throw them in your car and go for a quick little spin and show them, and they'll pull out their phones and be like, "Dude, this is so cool."
Yeah.
And they're sliding around, But I mean, that's like they're gonna go home back to Jersey or Ohio or Montana or some
Oregon.
bullshit. Or Oregon, yeah, and be like, "Man, I got to ride in one of these cars through the Dragon. It was so awesome."
Or Alabama.
There's a kid when we were all out Saturday. The guy with the RSX, Vermont.
Yeah.
Wow.
And me and Josh with the yellow
Didn't
and
rust
me.
apart.
No, it was gorgeous. It had polished lid Koenigs
Wow.
on it.
Okay.
And he's on the Touge Fest page because he knows your car and he knew who I was. And he knew like you and Forrest and everyone. He had met Forrest like 2 weeks ago. Really, really nice guy. I think his name's Duncan, if I remember properly.
That's cool.
Shout
I
out
like
to
that.
Duncan with the RSX. Josh and I were doing a night run, and we were coming back, and we caught up to him, and he didn't pull off, but it's because Josh and I told him to we waved him on, Because this random dude that had a great pace, great lane maintenance, and he was even talking about how fun that was. And all of us were up there. There were like 25 people up there, and he was by himself, and he happened to get a good run in with us, and you could tell it lifted his spirits.
Yeah.
And he was like hanging out with the whole group and everything, and he had never met any of us, and I guarantee that made his night just a little bit better.
I guarantee you, the next time he comes down, he will look for at least one person from that group.
He's going to be at Touge Fest. Go ahead.
It is super weird, like you said. They just know who you are. So I was working south of Nashville, and my new boss, he was one of my managers. We got to sit there talking, and he recognized my car.
The Miata?
Yeah, from the Dragon, from like the time he went, like in like 2019 or 2020 or whatever. He's like, I know that car, and I'm
cool.
It's kind of cool, kind of weird.
Yeah,
but it's because even happened last weekend. Some guy came up to me and started talking to me, and I mean, if you're listening, sorry, don't really remember your name, but nice.
Was it Duncan?
He had a white NC.
Oh yeah,
I can tell.
Ryan.
Yeah, I can tell I've met him before, but like, it just didn't click
He's
in
a
my head.
local.
He
lives by Mike.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, but
he is quick in that thing. Too.
Yeah, I'm about to say he was doing good for sure, but it's just one of those things like
it's a white NC3 club with
FD
white
wheels.
FD wheels.
But yeah, like I could tell I've met him before.
He just got 17 by 10s, by the way.
Yeah.
But I could tell I've met him before, but it just
that.
wasn't registering. Like I just it was like I met this guy, I don't know where. And that happens a lot to me at the Dragon, where people are like, "Oh hey, how's it going? I haven't seen one."
Yeah, it happens. Like I'll be sitting on a pull off and stuff like that, and people will come up and I try to remember. And there's a lot of people I have on Facebook added that I'm like, I will meet you one day up here, especially if it's Touge or Mountain Pass related. But I was about to bring up the same thing. That's why I was looking on my phone. We were 650 miles away from Daytona International Raceway, and we went there 2 years ago with Jzilla and WRL partnership. And as I was sitting in the paddock, I was pretty much by myself. I was just letting the car, the night before the track day, I was letting the car just, we were going around just messing with everything, making sure everything was good. There was a guy that walked up, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember your name, but he's like, hey, this is the car from the mountain. I'm like, really?
That's neat.
He's like, yeah, US 129. And he's like, yeah, that's me. I was like, okay, cool.
Punches you in the face. That's what makes me not want to sell my 8.6 because I picked up the 8.6 as I started my photography, which, by the way, as of today, I got my Facebook memory. I've officially been a Killboy photographer for a whole year.
Congratulations!
Yeah, but yeah, it makes me not want to sell the 8.6 because
people know you from it.
They associate me with it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it makes me not want to get rid of it because it just makes it a little. It makes the car matter a little bit more. Not because I identify myself because of the car, but it's like having that little special memoir on your keychain that you never want to lose because it just means a little bit. It has that sentimental value.
It's also one of those things like, if you sell a car, people are not going to recognize you anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People should recognize me by now that a guy that's had 27 cars.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying, like, for me, for example, if I sold my Miata tomorrow and
picked up like a black 8.6 or something.
Yeah, or a Corvette or whatever, then everyone's going to be like, oh, it's just another guy. Which, it doesn't bother me that much, but at the same time, like, I've met these people because of this car, and they know me for this car.
And also, you don't want the person who buys your car to be an idiot.
No, if I'm selling my car, it's getting a drastic look change before it goes.
You paint it before you sell it.
That's the same thing, like, with me and my NC is, like, I've drove that car up there since it was stock. And I've had that car almost 5 years. Look where it's at now.
Yeah.
And
where is it now?
Sitting in the yard.
At home, blown up, waiting for a 2.5. Cam 2.5.
The cool thing about it is the fact that your car is a staple point for yourself. Like you're promoting yourself with your car. It's like Doug when he goes up. It's like if you see like the Type R video, everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's Doug! It ran off the road." It's like, well, no, it wasn't even a Type R.
It wasn't even fucking Type R, man.
Dude, when that guy, you have to insert that clip. When that guy wrecked, I will never forget. We get back to the store. The car had been towed to the store.
Yep.
And we're walking around it, and Caleb goes up to the guy. He knew it was like the owner because I think he had gotten some out of the car or something. Caleb goes up to the guy. He's like a foot away from him. He goes, I like your JD and privacy curtains. And the dude just got so red, and Caleb lost it and started laughing. And Caleb's like this far from the guy, like a foot and a half, 2 feet away, just laughing. And we're all like laugh and walk away. And the dude looks like he wants to beat the shit out of Caleb. And Caleb is crying. It is so funny.
No.
I gotta say,
so messed up.
it's-
That guy I'm not gonna say he deserved it, but I don't think he can be that mad because he put a Type R wing on a Civic base or Sport or
I like
whatever.
how James used it. James
imagine.
is like, run out of luck, come to a track day.
Dude, he used the meme as a
He
track
did.
promotion.
It is true. You don't push without any driver experience at all, or don't even really push up there during.
And then just
Peak
don't push
traffic
up.
hours.
The big thing is just don't push
You
up
know,
there.
I ran into that kid and I offered him to help. I'm an alignment specialist. I know what to turn.
That car needed Jesus, bro.
It did have Jesus, but he could drive it back home
He could.
if he would have let me fix it.
With the airbags deployed, he could have.
He's seen a real Type R and drove off.
So
Well, he did drive off because.
okay,
I'm sorry. I hope you're okay.
so the toe was, one side was like super in where it would
Yeah.
heated the
Yeah.
side of the mountain, and the right rear was all wonky as well. It's just bent control arms for the most part. Well, the rear was
Just bend them back.
bent control arm,
Yeah.
bent tie rod. So I told him
That
I
was
like,
it.
no, it was more than that.
There's more than
But
that.
I'm saying to make it drivable, to where you can lift it back to Knoxville.
Oh, is he live in Knoxville?
Yeah.
Oh, he probably listens to this podcast.
I forgot he bought something else. I hadn't run into him at Fall Tugget Fest.
Hope he bought a Type R. It seems like that's what he
He
wanted.
did not buy a Type R.
Oh, okay.
But I forget what he bought, so sorry in advance. No, I offered. I was like, if you can find a 24mm wrench and a 14mm wrench, I can fix the toe in the front or make it more drivable. I was like, you find me a 17mm wrench and I'll use a 14mm wrench and I can fix the toe in the rear so you can drive it back home. And he was like, oh, he was kind of dumbfounded. He was like, I'll see what I can find. And
Probably a little bit shocked too. Still.
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And I never ran into him again, unfortunately. But I offered. There has been a time up there where I had we had a friend and an old '85 Prelude. This is before I think he even met any of you guys. This is prior to you even. We did. His name's Tony, and we were doing a run.
Wait, Tony Carter?
Tony.
They made a crazy 2JZ.
No, 85 Prelude SI. So, old one, right? Tony Snyder. There you go. Thank God. So we were doing a run, and he just so happened to lose around one of the corners. What do you guys?
No, there was like metal vibrating.
Did you hear that?
Yes, it's off the heater.
Yeah.
It's his Integra still running.
It sounded like somebody was sawing your hood off. Over there.
I mean, it could be. Yeah.
It's the Civic.
It's the-
It came back for me.
Yes,
It's either him or the 350Z.
The 350Z guys out there sawing off all of our cats.
So, maybe I lose much. Oh yeah. So he bent a rear control arm on the Dragon. I mean, it was like this. We actually pulled off at Parsons and managed to find a spare tire jack and wedge it in between the frame of the car and the control arm and proceed to
Bend it back.
bend it back out.
Wow.
And we bent it back out enough to where it was like probably about a degree out, enough for him to literally drive back home. And he drove back home.
Then that's why
So-
I bought Honda.
And well, this goes back to
Where'd you
the
go?
things we love about the Dragon. Is there wasn't a single person who said, "All right, I'm going home." There was 4 people.
Dude, I love that. Okay, that's a perfect
Yeah.
point.
Yes.
Anytime I've seen people wreck in front of me, and the amount of times
Same.
people will go up and be like, "Are you okay?" They're not even like, "Wow, what a dumbass." They're like, "Are you okay? Let's get you out." Like when we were all at the Parsons pull off and that 370Z went off.
Yeah.
Dude, everyone, there were like 15 people there, which I'm not a big fan of. Everyone was like, "Bro, let's go get this guy out of here." Some random dude in an F-250 came up and pulled him out.
like, it's,
Oh, dude, there's always a good old boy that's
There's
going
always
to
a
go.
good
Dude,
one.
when I spun at Cashers chasing Nathan.
yeah.
I spun my first 8.6. This was like 20.
Walnut Creek, son.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
like
yeah.
2016. The double left towards the end.
Yep.
Yeah, and Nathan still has a very well set up RX-8. And he went into this turn because he knew the road. He knew he could lift pretty early and like coast through this double, like cut back. And I was like full throttle because all I saw was lack of brake lights. So I was like, oh, I can accelerate. And I spun, threw my car into a ditch at like 4 miles an hour. Car was fine. And some good old boy came up, towed me out, and I drove straight up here and ripped all day.
Didn't a good old boy tow
Yeah.
you during
No,
Dragon
it
Fest?
wasn't. It wasn't a good old boy.
Or was it just a bunch of Miatas?
No, it was.
He said, "Bah, bah, 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 bah."
It was literally the guy that was. I forget his name, but he was camped at campsite just below Gravity.
Oh, was that Cody Jenkins?
Yes, that's his
Oh,
name.
yeah, Cody
Shout out
Jenkins.
Cody Jenkins.
by the way.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, him and Matthew were running a recon all weekend.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man stops and like I'm bottomed out on the PPF of the Miata on the side of the road
Yeah.
because I was an idiot and tried to turn around and misjudged it, just dropped it off.
You know how many
on the
times I've
PPF.
dropped the wheel off up there just out of pull off?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
All
trying
the
to get
time.
out of the way, I've dropped the wheel, and
Yep.
we're like,
Like,
Can't go anywhere.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I dropped one off and then went to take off to turn back around, and the car just rolled off and just sat down on the
Shout out
PPF.
Cody Jenkins, man.
dude,
Yeah,
what a
shout out
pro.
to Cody. That man was a straight legend.
He saved a lot of people that
Yeah.
weekend.
He
man.
was on duty
Yeah.
He was.
like crazy.
He's a good
Man
dude.
trying to enjoy his vacation.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
he knew. He did make a post. He's like,
Yeah, he
we're up
knew.
there for recon.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had the yellow flashy lights and
Yeah,
everything.
seen where he
yeah,
at.
he was
That's
like,
cool.
yeah, he's like, he
Well,
literally made a post like, I am up here for recovery. Like, I
But-
have the truck up here for recovery.
That is more of a reason of why we like the Dragon is because people will come. People like Cody is part of WNC Touge, if that's still a thing. But like he knows a lot about mountain driving. He's a pretty experienced driver, and
pretty
even,
experienced. Shit, man. That guy can drive, son.
Yeah.
I
And
was doing roads with
even-
him back in the day.
and even him knowing everything he's done and how much he enjoys mountain driving, he even took a break to take care of everyone else.
That's
And-
so cool.
And that is what I think, at the end of the day, is the mutual respect that everyone has for each other up there is what makes it so special. Whether it's friends, whether it's that family and you letting a kid sit in, whether it's helping people out, like you mentioned, Doug, it's that mutual respect because 98% of people are up there for the exact same reason.
Well, it's one of those things. Like I've seen people literally. I mean, not to pat myself on the back, but I've done it. But I've seen a ton of other people do it too, where somebody had an off in front of them, or their car broke, or whatever, and people dedicated like 3 hours or 4 hours of their
Yeah.
day just to direct traffic,
No.
just because they didn't want anybody else getting hurt. So they just sit there on the side of the road and direct traffic for
Oh,
hours.
The dude with the Golf R that wouldn't pull off recently, that does like Wookiees in the Woods and everything. And yeah, when he went off, I stayed with him. Me, Ashley, and Sean
Yeah.
stayed with him for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, just sitting there, just
Yeah.
directing traffic.
When that McLaren went off that had Caleb in it,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
oof.
And like,
Dude, that thing split in half when it hit that tree. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It exploded.
I've never
Yeah.
seen any of that. Like anybody, I don't think I've ever seen him again since. But like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like
I haven't.
you helped him out.
Yeah, and they're gonna remember that.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Is I think at the end of the day, especially for us locals, we want anyone that comes up to leave with a positive association with the Dragon.
Yeah.
You never want anyone to leave with a negative association because that positive association that we want everyone else to have is the reason why some of us are still here.
Yeah. That's just stopping and helping somebody, like, especially, even if you don't have the means to actually help them out in the situation,
Yeah.
just stopping and helping the situation is probably
least asking.
or even just stopping and asking if they're
Like, do
okay.
you need a water or anything?
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
need
I
to
do
drink
that
water?
so
That's
often.
like that is my number one thing up there that I like about it is even over like what Austin said earlier with the mental health thing. Like I'll go up there some days or nights when something's happened and something major happened or something small has happened, just got me all messed up. I'll just literally go up there and I'll just drive my little heart out and then I'll just be okay with it.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'll stop caring.
You,
did that a couple
you
weeks
forget everything when you're behind the wheel.
You really do.
Yeah, it's like
I ended up doing that a few weeks ago and just stopped caring about the thing that happened. I was like, all right, whatever it is, what it is, it happened. Fuck off.
because at a certain point when you're driving, you have to focus so much on what you're driving that
Mhm.
what's burdening your mind ends up falling to the wayside or falling behind.
Yeah.
And one of the best things to do up there, it's so great, is to get that drive where it all just fades away.
Yeah.
And you don't get tunnel vision in a dangerous sense, but tunnel vision in a mental sense
Yeah.
of, dude, all you're focused on is driving. And then you get to the overlook and you sit and think about it for about 20, 30 minutes. And you're like, you know what? It's all going to be okay.
See, I did that probably
It'll be
2 weeks
alright.
ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I did that like 2 weeks ago where I was like, I just need to time up.
Oh, that's when you told us all to go drive.
Huh?
Is that when you
No,
invited us all?
that's when I ran into like Lori and Tina and up them.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, like I just need to go. Need some mountain therapy.
Yeah, my
Just
thing
need
was
some
about
mountain
two and a half, a little bit, maybe a little bit more than 2.5 weeks
And I
ago.
did like one banger of a pass through, and I
didn't even do that.
I did
got-
half a banger pass on the way back, and then I just like I'm good, and I just literally cruised the rest of the way. Went to Overlook, laid down on my hood and stared at the sky for like an hour.
Yeah.
Just sat there and just stared at the sky. Just
It's such a good.
My
feeling.
thing is that
Felt
like
better.
what I do is, and I'm really bad about when I do go up there about it is, especially if I'm really thinking hard about something, I'll go up there and I'm just gonna cruise around, and I don't end up cruising around, allegedly, and
Man goes 36 and 35.
that's right. And like it's literally just a subconscious process I go through. Like I'm so focused on driving, like Dylan said, you literally just go into an erased mental state where you're
It's almost like a hypnosis.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're hypnotized, and you go through all of your processes, you go through everything, and then when you're done, you're just like, oh, I'm okay with it now.
It's almost like the screaming into the pillow thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you do that, and usually
Or
like.
you.
But it's VTech!
Yeah.
well, like a lot of people, like when they get upset, they'll scream into a pillow and then they'll start crying
Yeah.
because you got the anger out.
Yeah.
And it's like after that, dude, you feel so flushed.
Yep.
It's like that's what that's like.
Yep.
It's
Even if that does happen while you're up there, and you're parked or whatever, you're parked and you're thinking about it, and you just start crying, and then you stop, and then you go do your run or whatever, you cruise around, and you just start crying again. At that point, a lot of people are just done with it.
Also, there's worse places to cry. That's a pretty good place to cry.
Yeah.
It's a good
If you're gonna be depressed and sad, Dragon's a pretty good place to be depressed and sad.
If I'm depressed and sad, I'm going up.
You know,
Yeah.
one cool thing, that we're talking about with the people and everything up there is, like, for example, I'm going to use Elliot for an example. So, Elliot gets the opportunity to come out here, like, once or twice a year. He'll rent a car, come out
Once a
here
year now.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But, he's pretty far away.
Also, like Wisconsin now.
Wisconsin, yeah.
But still having the opportunity in a world that's constantly changing, you can come back to a place that pretty much stays the same. The people are the same when you show up. Someone might have a new car here and there.
But the road's always.
It's like going almost back in
Till
time
next year.
to just
Yeah.
something that you're super familiar with.
Yeah, and that is the one thing is that, like, especially me, I've had so many jobs and life changes and all these things going on in the past, like, even like 4 years. Like, even with my business, my very first haul was actually up here.
Yeah.
I met Dave 129 Photos Dave, and I picked up bike parts from him, and I took them to Alabama.
I'm sorry, my whole like emotional thing was like a week and a half ago, maybe a little. Maybe
Oh, he was
an
checking
extra
his
day
text
or something.
messages. But
I was checking the date, is what I was doing. I was like, yeah, that seems about right.
But yeah, it's the one thing. Like, I've had a lot of stuff change in my life, but it is the one thing I can always go back to. The overlook's in the same spot. All the turns are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Pull-ups are the same. The lack of signal is the same. It's just like, dude, I go hit that road at 1 in the morning, and it's just it's never going to be different.
Tell you one thing that I did. It actually happened on the Parkway when I was heading to the Dragon. Because most of the time when I get up to the Dragon, other than like weekends, I'm just dedicated to getting content or stuff like that. Is I go up there at night. That's the only time I can afford to go up there, which is one of my favorite times to go up there.
Yeah.
But there was one day that I called out of work and I was cruising around and I went through the park. I went through the Parkway.
Man has
Hey,
already
it's
went
therapy.
through. Man has
It's a
already went
personal
through a
day.
full week's
Mental
of paid
health
vacation.
Step back.
Man
But-
has already went through a full week's of paid vacation.
But I stopped at the Parkway, that section that you entered to go on the Dragon from.
Yeah, because I take Phillips Parkway there.
So I started to get on the Parkway there. Sorry, I went off the spectrum there for a second. But I started getting on the Parkway there, and I looked up, and an opportunity I don't get too often because it's still sunlight. It's 2 p.m. Looked up and I seen the trees. Obviously I'm not going fast enough to endanger anything, but I just looked up real quick. Seen like as I was driving, I was going through the trees, and it was cool to see the clouds move faster than what really the car was doing. And then I looked down, back on the road. There's nobody. I passed like one car on the Parkway that day. It's just nice to go through there. You get up to the top, you can see the city and everything like that. Pull off, get a few photos.
The big pull off where you sell the lights.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, that's like the Angela's Crest pull off.
I had a vibe there as well.
It's like a
That's
Need
there
for
for like
Speed
an hour
vibe
around
there.
that pull off too.
Also, if you guys have not made this short, like 5 to, I think it's like a 5 or 6 minute, like small, like really short, like hike up to the fire tower on the Parkway.
Oh, yeah,
it's cool.
Do it.
Yeah, it is cool.
100%
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, that spot. I just think the road in general is super special. I mean, the Dragon is when I didn't have a lot, I knew I could come up here, and that was like always my saving grace.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of people, I mean, there's a reason that people prep their cars all year just for Touge
Just
Fest.
to make that drive.
Just for Touge Fest.
Just for 2-3 days.
And this past Touge Fest, man, at night, dude. When I left Saturday after shooting, I went to the store. I sorted. It took me forever because I took a lot of photos, and I left from the store at like 10 p.m. From the store to Tabcat, which for those listening, it is the end of the Dragon. It's a big like parking lot pull-off area.
Mile marker 11.
Right at mile
Yeah.
marker, where all the signs are technically the end of the Dragon. Between the store and there, like every pull-off had cars in it, and people were like, "Yeah!" and cheering. Dude, I wasn't even driving like with anybody, but it felt like initial date. It felt so cool.
It really does.
And that is
It really
the
does.
only time I've ever experienced that I'm pretty sure there were more people out at night than during the day.
Yeah, Touge Fest is
I think that's the
different vibe.
only event I've ever seen that night specifically, that Saturday. Because even during the day, I was like, there's not a whole lot of people out. Like, I got a lot of photos, but it was just regular Saturday traffic, not Touge Fest traffic. And then at night, dude,
It
lit.
definitely was something.
Yeah.
Because I remember the previous Touge Fest and even Spring Touge Fest, when we get a few of those, the day traffic is pretty heavy.
Mhm.
You go to the night traffic, and people start, everyone's going to Fontana, having a good time, hanging out at the bonfire and stuff like that.
Yeah, usually people go to the fire, get drunk, hang out at the cabins, and do their parties.
So the
Yeah.
Dragon dies down. There's not really too many people that
This
are going.
past year, dude.
Yeah, but this past year,
Bro, everyone said, I'm not touching shit. I'm not staying at the cabin. I want to drive.
drive.
Yeah.
And that's what I love to see.
Yes.
Dude, there were people up on the hills. Like, there were cars in pull-offs, and people were like half a mile away up a hill
Yeah.
Yeah.
for like the best view. Almost every pull-off had somebody, and there were people like flying down the road all night. Dude, it was straight up initial D. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was good.
Seeing all the videos posted afterwards too, and like people's reasoning for coming up to the Dragon, whatever it may be. Shout out to anybody that listens to this podcast. You're the reason I'm able to have my 8.6 and do the things that I love, because these people gave me a job.
Yep.
So just thank you to everybody.
That is true.
Talking about
That's-
mental health and that, I'm in one of the best places I've ever been mentally because of the people that listen to this podcast and buy their photos. So I just want to shout out you guys and that are listening, and you guys that are here, because it's just changed my life 100%.
It
So,
does. There's
yeah.
some really, really awesome people that are in not just the Touge Fest community or just the Tell the Dragon community, but just in the car community that combine to this one location.
And motorcycle.
And motorcycle. There's a-
Shout out to the 3 motorcycle people that listen to this podcast. but yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier, there's that cohesive mentality of everyone's up there for the same reason.
Yeah.
And so, it's just. Yeah.
And honestly, just to touch base on this too, it's cool to see social media have an influence on Tell the Dragon, because it's becoming one of those things where it's being safer up there.
Mhm.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's
'cause
getting
you don't want
better.
to get called out.
It really is getting
It's
better.
getting
Yeah. Yeah.
People are communicating more. It's like, hey man, you really should do this. You really should do that. It's like, you should check this out. You should do this instead.
Yeah.
And people that are traveling here are hearing cross feedback from like, hey, don't do this. Be careful,
Mhm.
And it's good to see that. It
Yeah,
really
because
is.
There's more videos popping up that's like, hey, these guys drove the Dragon and they did really well. Like, you should do like these guys. There's a video example
Mhm.
Yeah.
of like, drive like this, not like this. But yeah. I don't know how close to the end we are, but I did just want to ask this. In person, what is the coolest thing you guys have ever seen on the Dragon?
Whoa.
And I have
Wait,
a double because one's weird and one's cool.
Cars in general, or just things in general?
Like a moving vehicle on the Dragon that you've seen.
Okay, alright.
Or parked at the store, but like... You want me to start since I've seen so many?
Yeah, go ahead. You'll inspire us to think
I
about
feel like
those.
you usually have some good hairs.
Can I do 3?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
We have plenty of time anyway.
Okay, so Zonda R.
Ooh. Missed it.
Definitely takes Steve.
It's on the R?
Yeah.
When?
It was... No, it wasn't 2 years
There
ago.
wasn't a Zonda R. There was a Zonda there, but not a Zonda R. Because that was going to be what I was going to name it. That was going to be the car I named.
When? Because mine was
Or group of cars.
last fall.
Yeah, when they had the Huayra Beast, the Huayras
Yep.
come
Oh, I
through.
thought that was
Yeah,
an
the
R.
virus.
No, that was
Nope.
just a standard Zonda.
Well,
which
I
was
stand corrected.
driven by Horatio Pagani himself.
That's
Yes.
Zonda then.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was an R. But so that's Zonda. is third place. We're going to go from third up to build suspense. Zonda's third.
That's pretty good for third.
I'm suspended.
The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Yes!
Singing the Oscar
Bro,
Mayer
did
Wienermobile.
you see where they were looking for new drivers recently?
Yes. But the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile definitely takes second because of how happy the woman looked driving it.
Real quick, do you know how many Oscar Mayers we went through at Touge Fest? We went through a lot.
Oh, like actually eating. I was thinking the trucks. It was like there were trucks. Imagine just like 7 of those going down the truck.
Oscar Mayer kept us fed.
Wait,
after
are you including like the entire pack that was open but like not used that was in the trunk of the Miata?
like 40.
Oh god, I remember smelling that too.
Bro, it was so bad.
And
Yeah,
my
man.
number one, because the dude's a local and he's really nice and he built it from scratch, is the airplane car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he came up the day the Blue Angels were out.
Yeah.
That was the cool part.
Okay.
Yeah, and that plane is in the highlights on Killboard.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yep. But yeah, those are my top 3. That's Zonda, Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, and the plane car. And for anyone listening that can't see a picture of it, it was, I don't know what car it was based off of, or even if it was based off a car, but it was somehow...
It's a Toyota highest fan.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow he was in his lane, but it had like wings and it looked like a plane. It looked like a plane with like running gear. Just 2 sets.
I'm gonna go last because I have something that I want to move to a different podcast episode that we can all value or elaborate on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll go last.
I like it. Austin, you go second.
Okay. Mine is gonna be those Pagani's coming through.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, Pagani's have always been a bucket list car for me. Like, of like cars just to see in person. You know.
Oh man.
They were like everybody else's poster wall car was
Yeah.
like Lamborghinis, Ferraris. Mine's always been Pagani.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt because I got one more. I'm an irrationally happy fan of the Honda.
The Peanut Mobile.
the Mr. Peanut Mobile. The Honda S660.
Yeah.
The Beat. And I saw our friend Josh Sassy being ran on by a red Honda Beat.
Yeah.
I think he was slowing down for them, but it was Josh Sassy and his MRS, followed by a red Honda Beat, followed by a red S660 from the Lane Motor Museum. And it was like last summer. Dude, I lost it. That actually probably ranks above the Zonda.
Whoa.
Dude, an S660?
Yeah,
Think about the amount of Paganis in the U.S. The amount of S660s.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. There's like 2 or something. Or maybe
I apologize, but that made me think of that. Go ahead.
I mean, if you want to get technical, the amount of Zondas in the U.S. is 0 or maybe to 1 because
Matching an S660,
Yeah.
and the S660 smaller, which means it's cooler. They're both mid-engine supercars.
Super is
Super fun.
super.
One's super, one's super.
Okay. So yeah, the Pagani's coming through is gotta be my one.
Yeah.
Gotta be my number one, just because it's always been a poster. I always really like. It's a weird one for me, but I always like seeing the Ultimate Adventure guys roll through.
Oh my gosh,
It's
dude.
so entertaining because you just see these giant lifted
Anything.
everything
Anything.
No
On-
sway bars.
on like
No
44 bead locks just rolling through the gap. Like,
The amount of mud following their group last year was insane.
this year was better. I saw them this year,
Yeah.
and they did really well with getting the mud off their vehicles first. So good job.
I saw them. I was shooting at Stonewall when they went through, and there was like a train of them. I was like, "Who invited Monster Jam to the track?"
Or maybe it was like
Monster
late last year, like late.
No, it was still really nice out.
I don't know. Either way,
It was like early fall.
whenever I saw them go through, there wasn't a
It's
ton
like
of mud behind me.
October.
Because I looked for it, I was like, "There's got to be mud behind you."
Yeah, I
And
think it was a
wasn't
pretty
bad.
dry week
Yeah.
prior. What about
Either
you,
way.
Couch?
Probably the one that tops me because I haven't seen any of the Paganis or anything real fancy or exotic like that. But the thing that I seen, and it just happened just this past year, that just like ooh, and it sounded so damn good, was like the 2000-ish GT40s.
Oh yeah.
Wait, are you talking about Tom's, the black one?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, his
Yes.
is nice.
So
That
that's
thing's
just a
awesome.
4GT.
So
Yeah, that's a
That's
4GT.
a
Yeah,
4
it's just the
GT, not a
GT,
not
yeah.
GT.
That's the
Yeah.
first gen 4GT,
Yes.
I guess.
yes.
'Cause
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
GT4,
Yeah.
The 05
But
model, yeah.
it's based off the GT40.
Yeah.
Dude, the first time, okay, he went by me
Mhm.
when I had first started, and I was peeing, like off in the woods, and I didn't know that it was him. Like I obviously
I
didn't
think
know.
I was sitting with you when
You were.
Yeah, I was sitting with you.
And I was off peeing, and he went by, and I was like, "Damn it!" Because I thought I was never gonna see it again, and it turns out like he's a really nice guy. I've seen his girl.
I know we passed him the other day.
Man is a
Yeah.
man lays brick for a living.
I ended
Or
up
used to.
following him up to 129 Hub and talking with him, and it sounded so good. I was like,
Yeah, he has cup 2s on it now.
Yeah. Dang. Dude. Oh, God.
So
All the
Find
time.
out.
with mine, I think I have 3. I think I've got 3. One would be, I don't have a ranking for all 3 of these, but I have one would be I've seen a group of 4 different GT3 RSs, all in different colors.
Oh,
So one orange, one like Miami bluish color, other one
One's
yellow.
green.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of different colors, and it looks like a bunch of Skittles going by.
Very
But
wild
they all,
fast.
but they're all going pretty quick.
Allegedly.
1 mile an hour speed limit. Get that point. They are all sounding incredible, but it's just so cool to watch. I mean, where else are you gonna see that? You know.
Oh yeah, what's the GT3 and the Smokies event? I forgot to throw them in there too. That's a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good event.
Oh, okay.
Is it
yeah.
at the RS experience or something like that?
And that might
No,
have been,
they have GT and or GT3 and the Smokies or something like
Yeah.
that.
that might have been the same weekend. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
because Sean has the green one. Sean's a local dude. He lives in Loudon, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
He has the green one. He's good friends with Adam. Shout out Adam as the board
Poor guy.
show. But
somebody
Right.
bought his
I
wrecked
was up there.
GT3.
Yeah,
I was
we're
up
gonna
there
fix
that
it.
I would say another one was really cool. Is I went up one year with and it just so happened to have there was a big group of Factory 5s.
Whoa.
There. So if you don't know what Factory 5 is, it's a kit car company that you can make AC Cobra replicas. You can make
Daytona.
Shelby Daytonas, which would be my favorite. Old T buckets, a bunch of different old classics that everybody loves.
Like 40s to 60s era.
Correct,
Yeah.
and you make it's a kit car. Like you literally, it's like Legos.
It comes in a kit. You just
Yes, and
It's a car.
there was a group of 5 of them. Just so happened to be up in the Dragon, and I was sitting at the overlook, so I never really get to see them run or anything like that. But there was one particular that was the Shelby GT or Shelby Coupe with the blue iconic paint job with the
iconic
white stripes
Ugh.
and the number on the back and everything. I was just like, this guy's doing it right. And I'd say my last one would have to be this last year Touge Fest. You guys should remember that beautiful 86
Yeah.
that went through.
Oh, Matt!
What was really cool about that car was watching him chase a bunch of people with the sounds of the Type 86. I know it's Initial D fanboy and going on,
He tracks that thing at Sebring and the
which
Firm.
is incredible.
Dude, and his wife has a 2022 Neptune Blue GR86.
But it's so cool watching something like that that is notorious for mountain passes. Obviously, just chasing just a few other cars, just all
honestly,
intake
like,
noises.
They're rare to see anymore.
They are
Yeah.
so rare.
So I didn't add in my last one. I think I may reverse what my number 1 was. 'Cause
Okay.
I forgot about it until just now.
All right, go for it.
Singer Porsche.
Ooh, a singer.
So there was a Singer 911, like 83 or something like that, sitting next to a Carrera GT in this group that came up, and it was
purple?
huh? No, it was
Singer
silver.
purple?
Oh no, that one was gold. It was gold.
Oh,
Um,
I'll read from you.
it was gold, and so Forrest and I were sitting there. It's like we were in the off season basically. Like this was like right towards the end of the season, and we're sitting there chit chatting. All of a sudden, all these Porsches go up, and I'm like, "Oh, that's Carrera GT. That's so cool!" Carrera GTs are really cool, and you don't
Yeah.
see them very often.
Street
And then all of a sudden, behind it, I see a Singer, and I'm like, "Fuck the Carrera. I don't care. The
How-
Carrera. I could tell 2 craps about a Carrera. There's a Singer behind it."
How fast did you get your car?
Huh? Oh no, I was at the store and they were pulling into the
Oh, they were.
store.
I thought you said they were.
And
Oh,
so
better.
I was like, I let them sit there and talk it out a little bit.
Also, it's
That-
like,
yeah, I know, no. And I went up to her, I was like, hey, do you mind if I take a look at this? Like, this is like one of my dream cars.
$1 million
I was like, this is one of my dream cars. You mind if I look at it? And he's like, yeah, go ahead, man, go ahead. And he's super nice.
yeah.
And like, I just sat there. I probably sat there and stared at that car for 30 minutes
Fucking
before I
tears
was like,
stain the scene.
hey, Arthur, I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. He's like, no, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
People like that are amazing.
It's,
They're really like humble people.
I was say I stared at it for a good 30 minutes. Just Just like,
that car.
I might as well
isn't
have my magnifying glass.
Takes
out.
the Valston caps off.
This is mine.
$40.
These are $40, bro.
Her.
So you said you wanted to end on something.
I do have something unique to end on that a lot of people probably experience. Some people
You're
may
saying
experience.
SRT4, I'm gonna slap him.
Cal
No.
said his.
Yes.
Yes.
Mine.
GT.
Yep.
4GT.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
One of the first times I've ever seen one is I finally got to see my purple ACR.
I thought you were about to say purple 765.
Purple ACR Viper?
Yep.
Oh.
Finally got to see
Yeah,
it.
that
I was waiting. God dang it, man.
Purple SRT 4.
You talking about 5th gen Viper?
Mhm.
Newer gen?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty. God, it's so
That's
pretty.
Yes, please.
I think there's pictures of the next vehicle on my list, and that was an RWB Porsche. Never seen one.
I've never
in
seen
my
one
life.
Are you talking about the red one?
I think so.
It's a deep red one. Red and gold came up.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember being there for that. I wasn't shooting because it's been a minute.
Yeah.
I wasn't shooting back then, but
Was it
yeah.
2018 when it came out?
Yeah, because Forrest showed me pictures of it too.
I was up there and I was driving by and I'm like, God, that car is wide. And I was like, wait a minute. I see. I
My car's
recognize
not
the
wide.
banner.
It's excessively wide. That's an RWB.
Well, there might
That's
be one
not
coming
just
up more
wide,
frequently.
that is
My buddy Coos
thick.
made it.
Alex.
Yeah, well, his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad's getting
Did they
getting
get
his
that
bill.
finished?
It's on. It's getting there.
Because Bryson, yeah, I remember Bryson getting the kid in. I helped Bryson. Oh God, I forgot what the business name is, but very popular body shop guy in North Georgia. Has done tons of work for Porsche and Nissan. Crazy talented dude. I remember being at his shop when Alex's dad got his kid in, and I've never had to handle a kid so cautiously.
Oh yeah.
Because
dude,
it was
I'd be
all
terrified.
Dude, they were all out of the boxes, and we were putting them in Coos' truck.
Yeah.
And it was right. It was like in the back. And he was like, "Just throw them in."
Yeah, Coos so
I was
laid
like,
back.
"Dude, that's
Absolutely
I
not.
was like, "No." And
That's-
Alex and
like,
I
I'm not
like walked
touching
in
this.
and everything. I was like, "No."
That's Coos' personality in a nutshell. He's like, yeah, it'll be fine. It's
Yeah, look
fine.
at all the other cars he has.
He's such a good dude, though. Such a good dude.
Yeah, but he's like, "Throw them in."
Yeah.
Shut up! No.
I've never seen RWBs before in my life, and I went to IA Spring Meet this past one, and RWB Atlanta was there and had 5 of them there
They have 5 now?
at one time.
No, I thought they were
Probably
four.
from another state, probably. I don't know. I had no idea.
Montana.
They were all different
Yeah,
colors.
all Montana cars.
Yeah.
don't you?
Well, what's really cool is with the RUB, you walk up to the car and you actually look at it real close, and you could tell that it's hand done. Like, you could tell the differences between the strokes and how the guy did the cuts and all this other stuff. Every one of them was different.
Oh, but when he does it, it's art. When I do it, it's just shoddy craftsmanship.
I have a picture with Nakai. He was at Caffeine and Octane back in
Oh yeah, I remember that.
2015.
Yeah, I was on
Dude,
that one.
I am hanging out with him. Like, I didn't touch him, but I put my arm around him, and I'm like, and he's like, he's hold on, I'm gonna.
All the people running the booth at RWB Atlanta were all like that. They
Yeah,
were just
yeah.
like very serious.
Yeah, I saw him from like across the park, and I was like, I'm not gonna bother him.
Yeah.
What did you want to end on though?
So, the thing that some people may have seen, and this is why I want to end on this, is nighttime specifically. I don't know if anyone's seen it. I know you've gotten a pretty good experience in the last season
I've
and
never
the
seen it.
season before that.
What's nighttime?
With possibly seeing this, I don't know.
Sasquatch.
You'll be heading home, or you'll be doing a run, and you'll see these headlights
He says
right
fucking
behind
ghost
you.
Stories.
Okay. Oh my god!
Please put that on the thing.
He's like, yeah, get your picture. Here you go. No.
Dude, he was so mad. You'll see these headlights.
But you'll see headlights behind you, and Bryce Palmer was with me. We were in his Miata, and
no.
you'll see headlights behind you, and it's kind of terrifying because you don't know if someone actually is behind you or what's going on. But you'll be running, and you'll see headlights behind you. They're gone. You turn around. You don't see a car. You don't see a bike. You don't see any remnants of a car anywhere. They're gone.
Ghost of Machina.
It's weird. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced that. We call them, like a ghost light behind you.
Yeah, no, I've had that. It was really scary. It was last summer, and I had 200s on the 8.6, and it was just me. I'd shot. It was during the week, and I'd shot, and I stayed up pretty late. And I even told Ashley, I was like, hey, I'm going to stay out and just do some runs. I had fresh tires on the car, whatever. And it was just me up there, and I'm staying up running. And I went in. I was going up towards Shade Tree, so I hit that right, going up towards it, going towards the overlook. I hit that right, going up towards it, and I can. It's a little bit of a straightaway, right, like an 8th mile, 16th mile, whatever. And I'm going up, and it's like pitch black, and I'm going up, and I look behind me, like as I'm going up, I don't see anything, and as it goes by, it's just like streaking brake lights. But then I look like back and everything, and there's nothing.
And then you can't hear anything.
Mm-mm.
No ambience.
No tire, but there's like no tire noise, no nothing. And dude, I still get chills talking about
Dude,
it.
I'm serious. Like, what happened to me and Bryce was weird.
It's scary
Because they were catching up to us.
And then
Once we were in an MV Miata that had nothing done to it. Yeah.
Jedi, man.
Never know.
Well,
Could be.
I have seen where like you'll be like sitting at overlook, you'll see headlights and they like coming off the hill. And
And
Never-
they just never
get there. And then like you'll go do a pass, never see the car.
Yeah.
Mind
There's
you,
the
and you
scary one.
see-
The scary one of seeing the brake lights though, because I was like, someone's running with their lights off, but like off, and I didn't turn around to chase them or anything because y'all know going down into that left, leaving Shade Tree, you hit the straightaway in that left. You have to brake.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Daryl,
it's a
Kamal, Rob.
Decreasing radius.
But he broke.
Hard decreasing.
They broke into it, and then as they I guess lifted, because I didn't see a car anymore, and it's pitch black, and there's just nothing and no noise. It's terrifying. I hate that shit.
My experience
Scary.
was when I was at
In
Sunset,
nature, you scary.
and I looked over, and that's where I'm going to end the podcast because we'll talk about it next time. It was definitely an experience, but I want to talk about it next time though because this guy probably remembers. I don't know if he does or not.
Probably, I'm not real sure.
Ooh, a cliffhanger from the
That is a
podcast.
cliffhanger.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Someone's actually hanging off a cliff right now.
Yeah.
Or the ghost car is on it.
So that's where we're ending
So-
it. Is you were at Sunset Corner, and
I was at Sunset. I looked up at Mud, and I'll end it there.
no, they can always
Hit me on DM me on Instagram on 120 on Touge if you ever had anything like that, or comment down in the post because I'm going to have something about it specifically, or YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Guys, thank you so much for watching this far. If you're still here with us, we appreciate it. We've been doing really good on Spotify. It seems like you guys are really enjoying that, especially with the 5 a.m. Release times, being able to listen to while you go to work. Or, it's always there. If you can't listen to it at 5 a.m.,
I'm not listening to 5 a.m.
no,
My
I know
bad.
you're not listening
I was
to it.
listening to 5
I
at
will be
5
dead to the
Damn.
world at 5 a.m. Also, guys, make sure you send in questions. We really, really want to do a Q&A on this podcast, like big time. Because
If you got a question for any of these guys,
yo, let's
Anybody.
do a Q&A. Load us full of questions. Load your guts.
it could be
or whatever.
anything. Drag related, car related,
Bikes.
life related,
Fashion
Bikes,
related.
Jeeps.
fashion related.
Yeah.
How tall really is Austin?
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight.
Scale related. This is actual scale.
Actual.
That's
scale,
how big a GTR is.
And that is not better than an RS3. I will break that. I don't have a case on my phone this time. It'll
What, you don't
actually
like
break.
you don't like 5-year-old Ultimas?
Dude, if I was looking at
5-year-old Ultimas. Dude, those things have been out for 10 years.
Okay,
What are you
10-year-old
talking about?
Okay, this is gonna be a whole nother
Yeah, we're
episode.
gonna go. Keep
Take
going.
us out. Go ahead.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. Thank you for listening to all these wonderful people in here. And guys, always remember, keep hitting the pass.
His name is Wade.
SRT4 is better in that car. I don't care what you say.